Mrs. Sharael Taha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine, US-China tensions, China's trajectory as it recovers from COVID-19, the likelihood of recession in US and EU, political instability in other countries, and many more macroeconomic trends cast uncertainties on the economy's prospects for the short to medium term. Despite these uncertainties, there remains opportunities, provided we continue to stay united and demonstrate to the world that Singapore remains an open, safe, stable and reliable country, and most importantly, possess a capable and relevant workforce so that we can continue to attract investments and as a result, have good jobs for our people. That has been and continues to be Singapore's formula for success. However, the global competition for investment is intensifying, and we must continue to upskill and reskill ourselves to strengthen our value proposition and remain relevant to the world. Beyond the short to medium-term macroeconomic challenges, the need to upskill and reskill is nothing new for Singapore. This has been integral for our success and will continue to be a cornerstone of our economic strategy as we continue to ensure that we remain relevant to the world by having the right skill sets that the world requires. Education should be understood broadly and not stop prematurely at the end of a person's schooling life. Nor should education be defined solely within the confines of a school. Continuous education must constantly prepare Singapore's workers for future workplace demands, which is evolving very rapidly. I am pleased that we remain committed to our continuing education and training master plan, and I'm happy to hear from Minister Chan, that our education system and MOE will move beyond the first 15 years of education to the next 50 years, as mentioned in the Straits Times last Friday. Furthermore, MOE has extended its portfolio to include not only classroom learning, but more importantly, lifelong learning. Since the Skills Development Levy Act in 1979 and the establishment of Skills Development Fund, we have shown and proved that in Singapore, we remain committed to training our workforce and have been improving and developing how we continuously train and upskill our workforce, including the passing of the SkillsFuture Singapore Agency Act 2016, which established the SkillsFuture Singapore Agency and the topping up of SkillsFuture credit during the COVID period. SkillsFuture is a key enabler in developing the culture, infrastructure, and platform for continuous education and learning. SkillsFuture also represents the repository of resource for our workforce to attain mastery of skills, and it must remain so. Education must be more than just having the right paper qualification. We must strive to achieve excellence through continuous knowledge acquisition and application, and building relevant experience required in the industries. For our workforce to continuously develop, attain skills mastery, and remain nimble to take advantage of new opportunities and also to plug skills gap around the world, SkillsFuture must aspire to have the participation of many people in our workforce as possible. This is only possible through collaboration with education and training partners. Hence, I'm glad to hear from Minister Chan in the November parliamentary sitting that since the introduction of SkillsFuture, 840,000 Singapore citizens have utilized their SkillsFuture credit. However, that is only 30% of eligible Singaporeans. Worryingly, the percentage of people who use their SkillsFuture credit is highest among those in their 30s, and it reduces among those in their 40s and 50s and older. And as we move towards increasing the participation rate in developing skills and improving the effectiveness and the value of training, the underlying process of disbursing grants, collecting levies, and onboarding the support of trusted education and training partners must be simple to encourage participation, yet robust to prevent any abuse. Unfortunately, some have taken the opportunity to abuse the funding arrangements, such as the case of husband and wife masterminds, Ng Ching Wee and Lee Lai Ling, who were behind the $40 million SkillsFuture scam by submitting and forging falsified documents between May and August 2017. Hence, I stand in support of this bill to strengthen the regulatory powers of SkillsFuture against fraud and abuse of its incentives and grants. However, I have three clarifications for the Minister. Firstly, given that there have been a few cases on SSG, such as the total of 42 million fraudulent claims, AGO's findings on overpayment, and the shortfall of outstanding skills development levy, how can we improve and enhance governance such that there are no leaks and similar incidents do not occur? Secondly, how do we increase the participation rate of utilizing SkillsFuture for eligible Singaporeans? And lastly, how do we improve the training efficacy and assess SkillsFuture's success in meeting its strategic goals? Allow me to elaborate on these 3 points. Firstly, given the cases of fraud, overpayment, and shortfall in collecting skills development levy, what were the lessons learned from all these cases? And have they been implemented? And if not, what is the time frame for implementation? For example, the overpayments of SkillsFuture Singapore is attributed to errors in manual processing, and SSG has shared that it is taking measures to reduce reliance on declarations and manual processing. Has this been implemented? And if not, what is the implementation plan? Has SSG completed the process of recovering the outstanding skills development levy owed by companies? And how do we prevent similar occurrences? Given this bill will give SSG greater enforcement powers, will SSG be resourced with additional staff with the right skill set to implement effective enforcement? I also note that the bill indicates extra financial expenditure. What is the expected increase in operating costs? Secondly, how can we boost the participation rate of eligible Singaporeans in utilizing the SkillsFuture to more than 30%? Based on data shared by Minister Chan in November sitting, what is more worrying is the decreased rate of participation as age increase. Are there plans to encourage more of our mature workers to participate in upskilling and retraining? Possibly, one opportunity is to encourage our mature workers to transit to a second career to be trainers and impart their experience to the rest of the workforce. Lastly, how do we increase the effectiveness of training for the courses supported by SkillsFuture? On quality of training, I do note from the website that there are many training partners. From just a search between A to C alone, there are already 60 training partners. How do we ensure the quality of training is preserved? To which I agree with what our fellow colleague, Mark Che, has mentioned earlier. Beyond the accreditation of the instructor, are the training partners regularly audited too? On effectiveness of training, is SSG considering using outcome-based, or can SSG consider using outcome-based cost subsidies? Can we have a tiered cost subsidy system where the full subsidy is only granted when the individual or organization can show proof that they have implemented or applied what was learned during the course? For example, for the implementing Lean Sigma course, which is a productivity course or course on productivity, can the full subsidy be given only after the individual or company show that they have delivered projects to improve their productivity? And on simplicity, there is a SSG website, SkillsFuture website, My SkillsFuture portal, SSG WSG website. As an end user, the landscape can be very confusing. Can this be simplified to be more customer-centric, similar to the Support Go web portal that provides the interagency support available for individuals? Mr. Speaker, sir, in Malay, please. SkillsFuture adalah penting untuk menggalak pembelajaran sepanjang hayat dalam kalangan warga Singapura. Sejak pelancarannya pada 2015, lebih daripada 840,000 rakyat Singapura telah menggunakan kredit SkillsFuture untuk menyertai kursus-kursus peningkatan kemahiran. Namun, jumlah itu hanya 30% daripada mereka yang layak. Ini bermakna bahawa sebanyak 70% warga Singapura yang layak masih belum menggunakan kredit SkillsFuture mereka. Lebih merisaukan, penggunaan adalah tertinggi dalam golongan muda berbanding mereka yang berumur 40 tahun ke atas. Bagaimanakah kita dapat meningkatkan kadar penyertaan daripada 30% pada masa kini? Oleh kerana ia penting bagi pekerja yang lebih berusia untuk meningkatkan kemahiran mereka, bagaimanakah kita dapat menggalakkan lebih ramai pekerja matang untuk menyertai program SkillsFuture? Akhir sekali, bagaimanakah kita dapat meningkatkan keberkesanan latihan untuk kursus-kursus SkillsFuture? Kita harus memastikan bahawa kualiti latihan tidak terjejas, sedangkan kita meningkatkan jumlah yang ditawarkan. Saya juga sedar bahawa rakyat Singapura yang ingin menyertai kursus-kursus ini harus melayari pelbagai laman seperti laman SkillsFuture, My SkillsFuture, SSG WSG, dan ini boleh menimbulkan kekeliruan. Mungkin SSG boleh menggabungkan lelaman ini dalam satu laman seperti portal Support GoWare untuk memudahkan penyertaan dalam SkillsFuture. Notwithstanding the clarification above, I stand in support of the bill to enhance the regulatory powers of SkillsFuture against fraud and abuse of its incentives and grants. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.